Hello YouTube, welcome to this channel again. Today we will talk about the new Belgian law concerning the euthanasia of a young girl and the reason for this decision. So let's begin, hope you like it.
Where's your emergency?
A few months ago, a new moved the networks, that of the euthanasia of a young woman of 23 years old after a severe depression. An unbearable psychological suffering is an eligibility factor for euthanasia, according to the Belgian law. The deed was done on May 7. She was doing well physically but had been enduring heavy psychological suffering since 2016 when she was one of the victims of the Brussels airport attack. The cause of the depression of the young girl. In an article published on October 5, RTBF talks about the euthanasia of Shanti De Corte, specifying that she was a victim of the terrorist attack. The attack had left 32 dead and more than 300 injured. On the way of the terrorist attacks, the teenager was at the airport with 90 other students from the St. Rita Secondary School in Contiche, all of whom were on their way to a school trip to Italy. While the students were waiting in the departure hall, the two terrorists on site detonated their explosive a few meters away from them. Shanti De Corte emerges physically unharmed from the attack, but her psychic traumatism is immense and comes to feed a pre-existing malaise. The psychologist of her school confirmed to the RTBF that she received a student who already had serious psychological problems before the attack, in a state of post-traumatic shock after the terrorist attack. There are some students who react worse than others to traumatic events, and having interviewed her twice, I can tell you that Shanti De Corte was one of those fragile students. It's clear to me that she had serious psychological problems before the attack, so I referred her to psychiatry. A few weeks after March 22, Shanti was hospitalized in an Antwerp psychiatry facility, a place that she knows well because she had already made several stays before the attacks, says the Belgian media. The young woman passes then under a heavy antidepressant treatment and begins a cycle of round trips to the hospital which will last 6 years. On her Facebook wall, which she uses as a diary, Shanti expresses herself several times about this medication. I get multiple medications at breakfast and up to 11 antidepressants a day. I couldn't live without it. With all the medications I take, I feel like a ghost who doesn't feel anything anymore. Maybe there were other solutions besides medication. In 2020, Shanti De Corte attempted suicide, and it's not her first. Her medication was increased, and the concern of her family and friends grew. Her friends and a therapist suggested that she join a therapeutic program specifically created for victims of the Brussels attacks, which she declined. Shanti then attempts suicide again. Her morale is low. Her medication is getting heavier and heavier. Her entourage is worried, especially Shanti's 5 best friends. They too were at the airport on March 22, 2016. They too are having a hard time coping with the events. After having made several requests for euthanasia that had been refused, the student approached the LEIF, an association that defends the right to die with dignity. Her new request, formulated in April 2022, was this time validated by 2 psychiatrists. Shanti De Corte was euthanized according to her wishes, surrounded by her family on May 7. The decision to grant the right to euthanasia to Shanti De Corte, and survivor of a terrorist attack, has raised medical and ethical questions since her death and the broadcast of the report. A neurologist of the Brussels University Hospital, Brugman, Paul Deltenre, who intervened in the case, estimated to the RTBF that the euthanasia should not have taken place because her proposals of care had been formulated to the young woman. In Belgium, where euthanasia has been authorized since 2002, the broadcasting of the report revealing the end of life chosen by Shanti De Corte was, however, decreed. The Belgian law on euthanasia. Belgium was one of the first European countries to allow euthanasia 20 years ago. The text of the law specifies that the request made by the patient must be voluntary, considered, repeated, without external pressure. It emphasizes that the doctor will not commit an offense when the patient, a victim of constant and unbearable physical or psychological suffering as a result of an accidental or pathological incurable disease, finds itself in a medical situation with no way out. As in the case of Shanti De Corte, a second medical opinion is necessary when the patient's death will clearly not occur naturally in the near future. What do you think about the decision of the young girl and the law of the state? Do you think that there were another solution? Tell me what you think in the comments, and if you have more information about it, tell it there too. So this is the end of the video. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you next week for a new video. Goodbye.